We all make mistakes. At some point, whether through impulse, lack of attention, or simply because we're human, we make bad decisions. Perhaps we've said something cruel, acted selfishly, or ignored someone's feelings. And what comes after? The weight of guilt. This feeling can be overwhelming, keeping us tied to the past and preventing us from moving forward. But what if I told you that guilt can be a powerful tool for growth? Today, we'll explore what Stoicism teaches us about dealing with mistakes and how to transform guilt into learning without letting it destroy us. If you want to learn how to use your mistakes as stepping stones for evolution, stay until the end. First, acknowledge the mistake without torturing yourself. Guilt is a sign that you have values and moral conscience. However, many people make the error of transforming regret into self-punishment, becoming hostages to their own past. The Stoics teach us that we cannot change what has already been done, but we can transform the experience into valuable learning. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you've made a mistake, take responsibility for it, but without sinking into self-deprecation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I avoid making this mistake again? Responsibility should be an impulse for change and personal evolution, not an anchor that ties you to suffering. Each mistake brings a lesson, and it's up to you to use it to become a wiser and more resilient version of yourself. Second, act to correct your mistake. Recognizing the mistake is important, but that alone is not enough. Guilt only has value if it drives us to concrete and transformative action. If you've hurt someone, you can sincerely apologize and demonstrate through consistent attitudes that you've learned from your mistake. If you made a wrong decision, you can seek alternatives to correct or minimize its impacts. What cannot happen is becoming paralyzed by remorse, mentally reliving the failure without taking measures to evolve. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is in your control, do it. If it is not, move on." Learning comes from action, and each corrected mistake strengthens character, making you wiser and more prepared for future challenges. The faster you take responsibility and act to improve, the lighter and more constructive your relationship with guilt becomes. Third, avoid defining yourself by your mistakes. A mistake does not define who you are. The problem arises when you cling to guilt to the point of believing you are a bad person for having failed. No man is perfect. Even the greatest thinkers and leaders in history made mistakes. What sets them apart is that they learned from it and moved on. Seneca said, "To err is human. To persist in error is stupidity." Your mistake is just an event, not your identity. Remember, you are not the mistake you made, but rather the person who has the opportunity to evolve from it. If you define yourself by your mistakes, you will be trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage and low self-esteem. Instead, see each failure as a step on the ladder of your growth. The secret lies in how you interpret your mistakes, as signs of failure, or as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and better prepared for future challenges. The choice will always be yours. Fourth, practice self-compassion. Treating yourself with excessive harshness won't accelerate your growth. On the contrary, it can paralyze you. Studies in psychology show that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to correct their mistakes than those who punish themselves severely, because learning comes from a balanced mental state, not from despair. If you've made a mistake, look at yourself with the same understanding you would have for a friend. Ask yourself, if another person had made this mistake, would I condemn them forever? Probably not. So why do this to yourself? Growth requires patience and willingness to learn, not self-flagellation. What matters is not the mistake itself, but what you do from it. Fifth, use your mistakes as stepping stones for growth. The Stoic key to dealing with mistakes lies in changing perspective. Instead of seeing guilt as an unbearable weight, see it as a severe but necessary teacher. Great lessons are learned in the most difficult moments because it is in adversity that we are tested and shaped. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, just as work strengthens the body. The mistake is not a curse, but a tool for improvement. If you extract learning from it, then it had a purpose. Each slip can be the first step toward a stronger and more resilient version of yourself. What matters is not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up with more wisdom and determination. Conclusion: making mistakes is inevitable, but what really matters is how you respond to it. Stoicism teaches us that we should not cling to the past, but rather extract valuable lessons from it for the future. If you've made a mistake, acknowledge it, correct it, and move forward with determination. Guilt should not be a burden that paralyzes you, but rather a fuel for your evolution. After all, each mistake is a learning opportunity, and a man's greatness is measured by his ability to transform failures into steps for growth. The important thing is not to avoid making mistakes forever, but to learn to make better mistakes with more awareness and maturity. Now I pose a challenge. Think about a recent mistake and reflect on what you learned from it. Share in the comments how you intend to use this learning to grow. If this video helped you, leave a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. Knowledge without action is sterile. Until the next video, Heir of Wisdom.